The Watchers have been an enigma in the Draken Nier universe for as long as the story's been going. So as of now, I want to find all of the instances of the Watchers and see what they symbolize in the universe. There's a lot more to the massive salt babies than first meets the eye. I am going to say this video does require a good bit of knowledge on the Draken Nier universe, and Klemps has done a ton of amazing videos about the game's stories thus far. So I recommend watching those if you are curious. Not only are they some really good videos, they're funny and scripted really well, and overall just an enjoyable watch. With that being said, this video does contain spoilers for Drakengard 1 and 3, and some minor spoilers for Nier Automata. Not super major, just some minor stuff. So, starting off, the Watchers in the first Drakengard game appear as the final antagonist for most of the endings, while also being kind of like the main plot driver of everything. Most commonly seen in the Cult of the Watchers as well as the Imperial Army. Overall, they're just super rude and nasty to be around. Don't recommend joining them at all, I would know. But the Watchers are kind of worshipped within these organizations. The Watchers are worshipped in these organizations for one reason or another. I'll get to why I think they are later. Cult of the Watchers mention the Watchers' goal. Their goal is to come down to the land of Midgard to destroy humanity, which does not hold a lot of weight on its own. From what we understand, we can assume the Watchers want to take away humanity's free will. That statement in hindsight is pretty funny, just because free will is totally a major theme of some of the later games. Anyway, some of the characters in these organizations are directly influenced or even possessed by the Watchers, such as Mana and Brother 1 from Drakengard, or even the Red Girls from Nier Automata. Even the Red Girls I think are more just callbacks than anything, but the more interesting one is Brother 1 in Drakengard 3. He shares the same appearance as his twin sister, and also in the cutscene where he is revealed is wearing the same outfit as Mana in Drakengard 1. And Mana was possessed by the Watchers. It even goes down to a T where the symbol that Brother 1 and Sister 1 have in the game are almost identical to the symbols that the Cult of the Watchers have. A popular theory is that the Watchers came from the Atoners in Drakengard 3, but that has not been confirmed or denied. The final boss in Drakengard's ending E even has a similar appearance to the final boss of Drakengard's ending D. This could mean the Watchers came from Brother and Sister 1, but I'm not sure myself. Since in Drakengard 3, Atoners are basically gods, one lived on and founded the Cult of the Watchers and brought ruin to the universe. Who knows though, that is just purely a theory of mine. Okay, I did just learn something right now. If you go on the wiki for the Cult of the Watchers, it literally says Founder 1. So, you know, not very smart in the noggin right now. Mana is one of the other characters I mentioned. She also has a twin brother named Sarai, who looks exactly like her. She gets possessed and starts saying some pretty weird stuff and causes the Watchers to come down to Midgard. She's like the harbinger for the Watchers. Either way, they do appear more in the series, just to not this degree. In Drakengard as a whole, the Watchers are very, very prominent. So, on to the next game. In Nier Replicant, the Watchers have no appearance. Why am I talking about it then? Because their ruin does. The Watchers have brought intense ruin to the world of Nier Replicant. It's kind of like the whole plot of the game. They're long gone by this point and only mentioned in weapon stories and item descriptions. Most of the intriguing details about the Watchers, and especially their influence, comes in Nier Automata. And oh boy, this is not what I wanted to get into today because we're talking about Eve's chest. The Watchers in Automata are more fan service than actual plot, which isn't a bad thing. I'm still into it. Love fan service. Specifically, the tattoo on Eve's chest. It's really not that important to the overall story of Automata, but it is there, so it's worth mentioning. The Watchers also continue their fetish of being small children. Oh, that sounds weird. Oh, darn it. Don't think the girls are the Watchers. I think the machines found the data from the Watchers and replicated it. Or maybe Yoko Taro just thought it would be a funny callback. There is also reason to believe that the Red Girls have the Watchers' influence because of the clothing design and how it is similar to Mana's. The Red Girls don't really share any traits, but their design is almost identical to Mana's. Why is everyone similar to Mana? You want to know why I hate that? Because Mana is similar to Sarai, and nobody likes Sarai. Anyway, the Red Girls don't really share traits, they just are more for looks. Actually, scratch that. They do share traits. In Drakengard 1, whenever the Watchers speak, they either speak in the young woman's voice, or they speak in old man, very deep voice. In Nier Automata, they do speak in a old man's very deep voice. Anyway, now getting to the juicy stuff. We've seen the Watchers' effects, actions, and most instances of their appearance, but we have yet to understand what makes them tick and what they're all about. They are supposed to be sent down by God to destroy humanity because, free will bad, but I believe there's more to their story. Not only do they share the same name as the Watchers in the non-canonical Christian text, the Book of Enoch, but they also share similarities to heavenly beings in general. Angels in the Bible are drawn and fantasized as flying babies, and that's exactly what the Watchers are. Flying babies. More support for this theory is that the Watchers are shown to have angel wings in some cutscenes where lightning forms them. The only difference being that the Watchers in Nier are demonic and exert a spooky feeling, while the angels in the Christian Bible are seen to bring peace. What makes even more sense is that the people of Midgard, specifically the Empire, worship them like gods. Typically, when humans worship something like a god, it makes them feel coddled and cared for, as they feel, oh, if I worship this god, I have someone watching over me. You know, the Watchers being watched over. Back to the massive salt babies thing though, if the Imperial Army and Cult of the Watchers knew what they look like, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be into worshipping them. To be fair, I'm not even sure they knew what they look like. I don't know, they might have thought they were worshipping like Joshua or something. Back to the interesting stuff though, this points to real life religion in ways that are too close for comfort. Whatever is someone's reasoning for being religious, there is most likely a chunk of people who believe in it to feel the comfort of death, right? In Christian lore, you go to heaven when you die, and that's comforting, because it makes death as a more spiritual thing instead of a, oh no, I'm dead, I can't think anymore. In a lot of religions, the afterlife is usually something that is an escape from the end of times. In the Drakengard universe, the Watchers were thought to bring death to humanity, and maybe people worship them in order to be free from that death to humanity, or free from that judgment if you want to get more on the nose of it. Everyone died in the end, so I don't really think it worked out for them. Come to think of it, I don't think anything worked out for them, so why the hell did they believe in this? I don't know. People have their reasons, and it's not my place to judge the spooky cultists who are definitely doing spooky things in the closet over there. Another more spotty reason for their blind belief could be maternal. Humans have always gone back to their parents for comfort. That is something we miss when we get older, but I don't think it's a far stretch to believe that type of relationship could be formed with a religious figure. I think even more support for this is that the Christian God in Pacific is supposed to be a fatherly god, a father figure. I think what my sporadic brain is trying to say is that Drakengard's Watchers are meant to be a figurative god in the Nier universe. It provides comfort and peace when believing in them, and the people following will do anything to fulfill their goal in an act to be spared from their wrath or judgment. In my opinion, they exist to help us understand what God really is. For instance, the Cult of the Watchers could just be a metaphor for a very extreme religious group, something we'll see later in Nier Automata. Speaking of which, this fact becomes a lot more chilling knowing that the Nier universe becomes a lifeless wasteland, a world where gods no longer exist and there's no longer a need for them. Who knows, maybe I'm looking way too far into the details that might not even correlate, as I usually do. The Watchers are an enigma in the Draken Nier universe, and maybe a future game will explain where it came from, but knowing the series, it'll probably be a stage play. This isn't the last time I'll be analyzing specific topics found in media franchises, so if you like that, then maybe give the channel a look-see in the future. Also, if you believe I missed anything, then feel free to comment down below and yell at me about it. I'm sure there is something crucial I missed, because of course there is. Anyway, I'll see you again someday, hopefully, in the near future. Get it? Get it? Like the near future? The name of the series is Nier, the near future.